Hall, y'all. Check us out, check us out, check us out. All right. We here on the Maarcus Hall Podcast. I got a special guest, a real special guest. One of my best friends, my brother, Desmond Sweet. We're going to get the hand claps on that. Welcome to the Maarcus Hall Podcast. All right, man. So, we're going to start. How was your day today, man?
It was good, man. It was good.
Yeah, so this is going to be one of my co-hosts. If his schedule permits, we have different people in here. You're going to help me do this podcast, different like that. So, if you can do that for me. So,
yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's to come.
All right, so we always do one more question before we get into the podcast. And guys, this is going to be a good one. So, I think you're going to enjoy this podcast. So, the first one is we always do is what's your favorite color?
What is my favorite color? My favorite color is black.
Black. Why is it black?
Black is beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I don't think I have a favorite color, really. I think there's just colors that maybe I rely on more, but I love black.
All right. So, black. That's the second one that told me it's black. I never thought of that.
Black.
So, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Ooh. I would say one of my favorite movies was Poetic Justice.
For real?
Yep.
Janet Jackson, Tupac?
Yep, Chicago with that brush. And then recently here, I like the movie Fences.
Really? I haven't seen. Somebody told me to watch it because it's kind of weird and something like that.
Fences is a good movie.
I'm going to check it out now since you said that.
My wife is putting me more into the theater, into the arts, and into watching plays and stuff like that. So that particular movie, I could tell it was a Broadway play.
Yeah.
And then Denzel Washington. He's the best to ever do it.
I know he got a new movie coming out, Equalizer 2, so I can't wait to see that because the first one was phenomenal.
Yeah, he's the best to ever do it.
All right, we got a couple more, and then we're going to get into this podcast. So what would you say, pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes or waffles, it depends on who's making them.
Okay.
Yeah. I know some of your guests, because I watch the podcast myself, some of your guests have, varying beliefs on that, pancakes or waffles. I'm going to throw out a couple restaurants here. If Lolo is making it, it's the waffle.
Okay.
And then there's this, if Cracker Barrel is making it, it's the pancake. There's another restaurant that my boy took me to on 24th and Camelback. The Scramble pancakes are phenomenal.
Really? Scramble?
Yep.
I heard of that place.
Yep. You walk in and it looks like he's going to laugh when he sees this. It looks like a upscale cafeteria. It looks like an upscale cafeteria, but the pancakes are the truth.
So you were recommending people to go there then?
Absolutely.
So we give you the Scramble, we give y'all the shout out for that.
That was a good job.
All right, that's a good one. So last one, and what you say, apple juice or orange juice?
Apple juice or orange juice? Orange juice.
Orange juice? Nah,
yeah.
I don't like the aftertaste of orange
juice. You don't drink apple juice after you turn 13 years old, man.
Yeah, when it's nice and cold, you will. That's a good one. That's a good. Especially you got kids, they like apple juice anyway, so you may have to drink
orange juice. And here's the deal with my daughter drinks orange juice. Always has drunk orange juice. But I started drinking orange juice after my grandfather, Bishop King, taking him to breakfast and stuff. He would always tell me that the orange juice is a pre-meal beverage.
Oh, okay.
And so he would drink his orange juice, then have his coffee with his breakfast. I'd never seen nothing like that before in my life.
Yeah, I thought the coffee would be pre.
I don't know.
That's a good one. So
yes, sir. Orange juice, simply, to be specific.
All right then. So y'all might be wondering, like, why are you interviewing Dezi? But we see Dezi lost a lot of weight. If you guys who knows Dezi, so this is gonna be He's gonna be here. He's gonna tell us how it all happened. So
we're gonna get down and dirty. Raw,
yeah. So
down to the details.
So can we? So we're gonna start with. Can we ask like? So how did the weight loss come about?
Well, the weight loss come about, man. It's been a journey. So, you know me.
Right,
you know
right.
how long I dealt with being morbidly obese. Like at my highest weight, I was 511 pounds.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was morbidly obese. So about 3 years ago, me and my wife decided that we were going to make a commitment to ourselves to get ourselves together and to get our focus on our weight. So we started doing a pescatarian lifestyle. So we stopped eating all the beef and pork and the chicken, and we focused on vegetables and on seafood.
Okay.
And so even in that, we were pescatarian for, I want to say, about a year and a half.
Okay.
And I lost about 40 to 50 pounds.
Wow.
And so
just off the food you was eating?
Yep, off the pescatarian, working out. My wife has been working out probably for, I want to say, consistently for about 7 or 8 years. And so I got on board and started working out with her. So between changing the way I was eating and doing the exercise, and I lost about 50 pounds. But the thing about it is, when you're 500 pounds, to lose 50 pounds is like nothing.
Okay.
So I would literally go through all of this stress and all of this struggle and be like, man, like my commitment level is very high, but I am not seeing a change. And so it was at that point that I began to look at, continue my search and looking for a weight loss procedure that would be able to help me satisfy my needs. So I would say 9 years ago, back in 2010, I was still working at a Fortune 500 company at a bank at that time. And that's when I originally first started looking into weight loss surgery. And so the first surgery that I was looking at, and I'm glad I didn't get it, the Lord knew, I was getting ready to do the lap band. And so there's a lot of complications that have stimulated around the lap band. Things like the band wasn't working. Let me explain it to people because a lot of people don't know what it was.
I don't.
But so a lap band is a particular band. It is a device, is what the surgeons refer to it. It is a device that is inserted into your body and takes your stomach, and it like caps off, if I could use this as an example, like the top part of your stomach in such a fashion like that. So you still have the rest of your stomach down here. It caps it off. And so what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to, we see this in camera? Okay. It's supposed to keep your food here and make it matriculate down to your stomach a little bit slower, causing for you to have that full sensation. But what was happening is because, it's not one size fits all, there's a little jelly ring that is inside of the band, and it connects to a device that kind of sits right here on your stomach. And so if that needs to be adjusted, they literally take a needle with
So
saline.
Before you get into that, so did they cut you open to do all this, or is like?
No, it's endoscopic, I believe is the term that they use for it.
Okay.
And so they put the saline in there, and that basically opens the band or clamps the band down more. And so some people were having issues because the band was too tight, and some people were having issues because the band was too big. Obviously, if it's too big, you got your regular size stomach, and ain't nothing happening. So I opted against that, just fearful of the procedure and fearful of everything that was going on. And so after doing some research, I decided that I wanted more information about the sleeve, which is the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which is the surgery that I opted for. And I did it. April of 2017, I did it.
Okay.
I did it.
So that quick you lost. But I want to go back real quick when you was referring to obesity.
Yeah.
To me, when I think obesity, I think of somebody that can't get around, somebody struggling. And like I said, we've been knowing each other for a long time.
Yeah.
And you felt comfortable, I guess. You got around. We played basketball. Yeah. We did things. You ran around. Yeah. So when I think of obesity, I don't think of a person like, I didn't think you were obese when you say that.
Yeah.
So if somebody would told me, Dezi is obese, I would probably get angry because I'm like, why are you going? No, he's not. I wouldn't have believed that. So
yeah.
So what's a form? Some people out there probably don't even know they think they are obese. How would you prefer that term to be, like somebody's obese?
Well, careful not to offend anybody because I am still big at heart. I look at the mirror sometimes and say, who is that guy? I wake up and scare myself. I'll be like, what? Oh. So Obesity is described according to where you fall in what is called a body mass index, or a BMI, where they take your height versus your weight, put you on a chart, and determine where your level is.
Gotcha.
And my BMI was something like 70s. And your BMI should be, I think, 30, low 30s or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I was morbidly obese, and there's some physicians that have thrown around a term called extreme morbid obesity. I fell into the extreme morbid obesity, man. 511 pounds.
I see. I would never.
Is what I was. But see, man, you seen the movie Ray? You seen the movie Ray, where Ray is blind? He's walking around the house, and his mama tell him, "I ain't gonna make you no cripple.
Right.
Find out how many stairs it take to get from point A to point B." That's the house I lived in. I mean, my being big was not a ticket for me just to do nothing. Like, I played football. I'm not going to mention the name that we used to call it, but you know how it is when one person's in the front, you throw the football to the back, and everybody got to make it to the touchdown line. You know, I played football, I played basketball, I mowed lawns with my grandfather, I worked with my daddy, we had to trim hedges. You know, I did everything that was expected of me to be done. And so when you say, I've heard people ask, were you comfortable at that weight? It was all I knew.
Okay.
It was all I knew. Yeah, I remember one of the prime reasons for me wanting to ensure that I got a job at 16 was so that I could afford the expensive name brand clothes at the Big and Tall store.
Wow.
So this is 16. So at 16 years old, man, I was wearing 4X. At 16 years old, going to high school. But I learned to embrace it, man.
Okay.
Got me an old school Cadillac and rolled and
Cadillac was dope.
Threw the windows down, burnt rubber on the turns, and I embraced it. It was all I knew.
So doing that surgery, are you happy? I know you got time. It takes time. That's what we'll say. What's the time? Like the time limit, or do you give yourself a goal of a weight you want to be, or how comfortable you want to be? Like, you stop. I'm gonna stop right here. I'm good right here.
Yeah.
Do you give yourself that? Are you still trying to get there? Or?
Well, still trying to get there is something that I finally came to closure on when I hit my year mark. They typically say you're going to lose your maximum amount of weight in the first year. You will continue on to have residual weight loss for the next 6 months to a year. By the time you hit 2 years, you are done.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been watching the scale, man. It ain't been moving in a while, but you know.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer that with the drastic reaction that I took my body through, and with the amount of discipline that I have to utilize now, I have to utilize more discipline now, more than physical discipline, because after you've been out of the surgery for a while, you begin to be able to eat again.
Okay.
So the amount of discipline that I exercise now, I feel like my body has taken me to a sweet spot.
Okay.
If I lose more weight, I don't see it being an extreme amount, but with the Lord being my help, I ain't gonna gain much.
Right. So like you said, the lap band had things like that. So you might, let's say it's too loose, you could still be doing the same thing, but your surgery you had, so it's not possible for you to like get back to that.
No, because all of this stomach that we were talking about that would be there with the lap band, it is gone.
Also, they removed that.
Yeah, it is gone.
Oh,
like the size of they remove about approximately 75 to 80% of your stomach.
Oh, so I'm thinking when they say a sleeve, they put something like a sleeve or so it's gone. So you're not getting that back.
No, I don't have a device, man. I had a procedure, and so I struggled with that. And I asked, I had a family member, and I'm not going to mention any names or genders, but I asked this that had the same surgery and helped confirm that it was the season of my life to do that. And so I asked him. I said, and I'm going to tell you the same thing he told me. It is gone, never to be seen again.
Wow.
And here's the deal. Well, speaking of that, when I came out of the procedure, my surgeon, whose name is Dr. Robin Blackstone, one of the greatest physicians in the United States of America, Dr. Robin Blackstone.
Yeah, give him a hand clap, Dr. Blackstone.
Yeah, and so she went and spoke with my wife, and she's been doing bariatric surgery, which is weight loss surgery. The term is bariatric. She's been doing bariatric surgeries for approximately, I want to say maybe 20 to 25 years.
Wow,
so before it was even mainstream.
Okay.
She told my wife that I had one of the largest stomachs she had ever seen in the history of her doing bariatric surgeries. Now, she has worked on thousands, not hundreds, thousands of patients.
Wow.
And so it's things like that let me know that I was fighting a losing battle, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, the only way I knew to stop eating was typically because all of the food was off of the plate. It was not necessarily because my whole full sensation, it just wasn't there. So I had social cues to let me know when I had had enough. I got sick of the flavor. The food was gone. Everybody at the table stopped eating. But that whole full sensation, man, I overrode that probably when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Wow. So I have two questions I want to get real quick. But the first one is, like, what made you feel comfortable enough? Because I know you, and I know we both, we don't want everybody in our business, and this is something serious. I know a lot of people want to ask you this question when they see you, but what made you want to even talk about this?
Well, the reason why I want to talk about it is not to help people.
Wow.
Because that's the first thing they say. Oh, he's doing it to
That's
help
what
people.
I thought this would be.
Because I'm a minister of the gospel, by calling, and I am a trainer, workforce development professional by profession. So I train people on how to gain employment. Wow. That's what I do. So all day long, every day, I help people. So it'd be natural for me to say, oh, because I wanted to help somebody. No. I decided to release my truth because I think that it will free me even more.
Gotcha.
At this season in life, man, I'm at a phase of living life true, within perspective, knowing who I am, knowing what I have to present, knowing what I have to give. And it is just like the time when my mother would sit me down and say, hey, tonight we're eating baked chicken. I hated baked chicken for dinner.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. I hated baked chicken.
What's about baked chicken you didn't like?
Well, back then we didn't have all of the modern things that we have.
Flavor?
No, it was always dry, man.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So baked chicken was dry and it was boring and it was nothing sexy about baked chicken.
Gotcha.
You could have took that same chicken and battered it and fried it, man. I didn't want no baked chicken.
Okay.
But my mother told me one time, she said, son, you can take it or leave it. And so now that's how I feel like with my life. You can take me or leave me. I'm enough. I have enough confidence in myself, and it's true confidence. Because see, I was always a confident person.
Yeah, that's not
I was always the life of the party, willing to talk, willing to do things. But now I've learned that I can even be confident in silence.
I'm gonna steal that quote. And my next question was, I was gonna follow up with was, knowing, like I said, I just learned that you say you had to cut most of your stomach off. Like, did you going in with fear? And like if somebody else watching this, did you have a lot of fear, or are you just like, I gotta do it? But like, were you afraid, or second chance? You mean second thoughts?
I had fear. And my statistics may be off. But when I went to the orientation to learn more about the surgery, my surgeon helped give me consolation that I was making the right decision. And the first thing that she said is it's like 1 in 1,000 people die simply from having a tonsillectomy. 1 in 1,800 die from bariatric surgery. More people die from a tonsillectomy than they do from a bariatric surgery.
And what's the tonsil? What is it?
Removing your tonsils, getting your tonsils
People
removed.
Die from that?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't
Yes,
know
sir.
that either.
Yes, sir. And so she said that, and I was like, oh, okay. Then she said, at your level of obesity and with your BMI, the likelihood of you losing this weight is less than 10%. Wow. And it's easy for somebody to say, oh, well, I'm going to be the 10%. Yeah, I tried to be that 10% a long time. I mean, people don't know how far we go back.
Right.
Well, people don't know how far we go back. That I didn't know you still had that Honda. But that Honda, you remember picking me up from Weight Watchers classes? I mean, we go back, man. And so how long that I have fought and struggled with this.
And I think I got comfortable with it. I'm like, he's comfortable. He don't look unhealthy. Like, we know you were big, but I just didn't. In my mind, I didn't think, because you never was like, oh, like you was always upbeat. You was always going. So I'm like, maybe it's just natural.
Right.
So
right.
so another question is like people that's kind of like on the heavy side. Can you be heavy and be healthy? Like is it okay, or you have to get that like certain weight?
The reality was, it depends on what measuring stick you decide to use.
Okay.
I'll put it in those terms. On paper, I was healthy. The only thing unhealthy about me was my weight. And I said that to say this. A lot of people feel like, oh, you got to have diabetes. You got to have high blood pressure. When I tell you that the doctors was astounded every year when they got my blood work back, they would be looking at me. I mean, they would poke me to see if I was real. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They just could not believe. I went to a homeopathic doctor because me and my wife struggled with infertility, and I'm going to touch on that hopefully before we wrap this up.
Oh, yeah.
I went to a homeopathic doctor to see what I needed to do to get myself together to help us conceive. She looked at the paperwork after combing all of the hormones and things that I had been through and said, you just have to have something going on.
Wow.
To be this heavy, you got to have something blocking your GI tract, and we're getting false numbers. You got to have this, you got to have that. No. Which lets me know that, yes, to a certain extent, your average, we're built a certain way. That's part of the reason why I kind of came to the comfort level of I am a stocky individual. You know, it's you can look at my history, you can look at my family tree, you can look at old pictures.
And that's another thing, guys. We're going on this live. You're gonna see the picture. We're gonna put these pictures up right now, so you can start seeing these pictures that we talking.
Yeah, man. I've always been a stocky individual, but I was uncomfortable and I was unhappy.
Wow.
So even through, you know, physical health, you can look at that measuring stick. Oh, yeah, it was going to lead to this. Yeah, I had knee pains and stuff like that. But I point to you as somebody who has optimum weight and they still have knee issues. So, yeah, all of that stuff plays a factor. I'm not ignorant to believe that if I continued to be 511 pounds, that, yes, it would have led to something.
Right.
But can a person be big and still be healthy? Sure. I look at my Grandma King. My Grandma King lived till she was 93, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
People don't know, and I'm not gonna dime around and tell what her dress size was, but you know, all of those years, she wasn't the size she was. People don't know.
So I don't know. When I met her in 03,
And she ate bacon to the day she died.
Yeah. She was a special woman, man. So
Extremely
that's a
special.
whole new podcast on
Extremely
both
special.
your grandmothers. They took me in, man. So I miss them all. I think about them all the time, and I think about them all the time.
Yeah.
That was my family. We wasn't blood, but that was my family. And Nana, man, I miss her so much too, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. So another question is like, so you have a daughter now.
Yeah.
So did she? Do you think she really knew that the 511-pound Dezi, or she gonna know this Dezi?
No.
That's all she gonna know.
No. She looked at a picture of me the other day, one of these pictures that I shared with you. She looked at a picture of me the other day, and she never said anything,
Mm-hmm.
but she took a moment to focus, and then she said, "Oh, Daddy."
Wow.
So she really at that age, and I'm praying that continues. At this age, you know, we really don't look at body
Right.
size
Yeah.
and things like that. You know, she saw me, she saw my qualities, my facial features and stuff like that, and it took her a minute to resonate, but she knew that was her dad.
Yeah.
Now, when we get down the road and she sees the difference, then
Right.
of course she will be able to understand more. And while she is a large part of why I decided to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, health was one. But me and my wife have made a commitment to one another. If with all in our power, we never want to do anything to embarrass our body.
Okay.
And so there was a time when I had to pick up my nephew from school. And I have a few nephews, so I'm not calling any names out. But I went to pick up my nephew from school. And when I picked him up from school, at my highest weight, the class was laughing at me.
Wow.
The class was laughing at me. And I've dealt with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are some of the most rudest individuals in the world.
they are.
And so the class was laughing at me. But
And you knew it was laughing at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, because all the comments I was going, why is he so big? Oh, my God. Who is that? And so, I knew they was laughing at me. Why are you so big? And I'm like, man, well, if I gave you the answer to that, I could solve, some of the world issues. But what really hurt me is when I looked at my nephew and I saw the embarrassment in his eyes. And I said, I never want to have my child in that position.
Wow.
And then I said, what's going to happen when she's ready to take a field trip and I can't get on the bus? And she said, Daddy's sitting next to me, and I struggle to get in that seat.
Yeah,
and all the rest of the kids are sitting next to their father.
Yeah, it's something about your kid when you, like, it's still weird for both of us to have kids. Like I said, we've been knowing each other for so long.
Yeah, man.
But the love that we have for our kids, like, you'll do anything for your kid. Like, my commitment, like, my love for these two.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I heard it before. If I had kids, you like, oh, whatever. But when you had a kid, man, you would do anything, man. Anything, man.
You move heaven and earth. Like, listen, we just got through talking about how this experience that I had on the light rail the other day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's talk about that.
So I'm going to put this out there, too, because some of you people can be the most judgmental people. There's always been a certain light that is placed on us that uses public transportation. So let me cover that right quick. Part of Arizona, man, everybody has a car. Every restaurant has a parking lot. But there are other places outside of Arizona where people rely on public transportation. Right. So I typically ride the light rail to work and home every day. And so just before we got started, my wife sent me a text message saying that there was an altercation on the light rail, and somebody died. Somebody lost their life, which is not a funny situation.
That's not funny,
but yesterday I dealt with somebody who had an altercation on the light rail, pulled out a box cutter. And there were other people on the light rail, but it's not time for me to be a hero.
So we just heard about the Waffle House hero too. So you're not gonna do that?
No. Because I gotta be Hattie's hero. I gotta be Hattie's hero, brother. If she would have been there,
it's different.
So speaking of our commitment to kids, when brother pulled out that box cutter, as soon as that thing, first of all, I got up and went to the nearest exit on the other side of the train. People are looking at me like, what do we do? I'm like, you better follow suit. You sitting there puzzled. I'm showing you the way. You know what I mean? I'm laying the dots. All you got to do is connect them.
Yeah.
As soon as that door opened, I got off that train and went to another one. Now, if my daughter was on there, it would have been a different situation.
Would you have calmed it down, or
I don't know.
You were good at talking. That's one thing Dezi good at. I think you could have calmed them down and say, "Hey, man, what y'all doing? This is stupid."
I probably could have.
Yeah.
I probably could have, but I probably would have took the same steps I would have took. But when your kids are involved, I don't know what I would have done.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would be willing to do things that would put even my own safety at jeopardy for the sake of my daughter.
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna. This is gonna be a great podcast. And say if somebody's watching this and they want to ask questions, would you allow somebody to maybe send you a message or anything, have questions about this? I think you're gonna help a lot of people. And then one of the things I ain't gonna let me know it's cool to ask, and we cut this part out, we keep it in there.
Ask me what
but
you wanna ask
it's a thing now. People say you guys are cheating. Like
I'm glad you brought that up.
You didn't do it. You didn't do it the right way, and such.
But
to me, and hearing that, you got half your stomach taken out. I don't want to hear nothing about no cheating. That's commitment.
Not only did half of my stomach's taken out, man. People don't see the nights you spend in the gym.
Okay.
People don't see the fact that.
So you working out? You ain't just got this, and then you just cool now.
Yeah, the YMCA membership is for real, man.
Wow.
We hit up that trail right there on Central, the Bridle Path from Bethany home all the way up to Northern. So it's 2 miles there and 2 miles back. So yeah, the workout commitment is real. But yeah, I forget what her name is. The one that does the Bonnet Chronicles. Is it Tammy?
Yeah, Tammy. Yeah.
Tammy got on there one time and she was like, don't post no Transformation Tuesday picture if you done had bariatric surgery. Mm-hmm. That's your personal belief.
Right.
But nobody will understand my struggle and the things that I have been through.
Right.
And you can say that I'm cheating, all you want to, but at the end of the day, I'm the one got to lay my head down.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
And so I'm not here to prove that I work harder than you or that I work less than you. But I'm here to prove that this was my path. Mm-hmm. I was successful. And I'm I'm living my best life on the other side of that surgery.
I gotta say, man, you look good, man. I opened the door today. I seen you. I was like, man.
I try to.
Man, you look good, man. I know you've been saying your wife, but can I say?
What,
Mika?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. So you're saying Mika? So what? That's why I want to know what's Mika thoughts about this whole thing. Like, what's her?
Well, first of all,
because another thing is because Mika to me she started first. Like she lost a lot of weight.
First of all, yeah. Let's go.
She stopped eating the 6 cheeses macaroni
and the grits and debris. But let's stop there. So Mika has been extremely supportive the whole way. And let me set the record straight. In the words of Claire Huxtable, the record straight. Shamika did not have a surgery.
Right.
Because, a lot of people do a lot of things together, and I'm fine with that. They do couples massage, couples pedicures, and couples bariatric surgery. That's not our testimony. I'm fine with that. That's not our testimony.
Got you. That's a good thing because some people thought she did too because she lost a lot of weight.
Oh, she gets
it's a big difference.
She gets the looks and the hms, and so
you people thought she did. Yeah. Boom in your face.
Yeah. But it's not even that. It's just the fact that people get to talking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the reason why I'm here today is because I could be standing in front of a potato chip line, and somebody say, "Can you eat that?" I can't even think your mama can.
Wait. So people you don't even know.
People that I have never told my story that I've even had weight loss surgery.
Wow.
Come up to me and start having conversations about what I can eat, what they feel like I can do.
Wow,
I've even had somebody tell me, now the surgery you had is better because I'm like, first of all, how do you know I had surgery? Now you're going to tell me.
You ain't said nothing to him.
Man, people are funny. But going back to my wife has supported me every single step of the way. Now here's the deal. It is a high percentage of people who have bariatric surgery who are not able to stay married. Yeah, man. The statistics are out there. It's high. I've heard somebody say 80%, but I don't think it's that high. But the statistics are out there.
So of course, it's the people that lost the weight, looking good and stuff, and they
feeling themselves.
Got it.
And I'm feeling myself.
Got it.
But I got sense.
Yeah.
And so I remember getting in the car one time, and I was cracking jokes with my wife. I was like, "Yeah, babe, all the people at work saying how good I look, blah 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 blah." And she looked at me and she said, "You know what, Desmond? What they see now, I've saw all the time."
Wow, she trying to get points, boy.
You know what I mean?
God.
And so you hear preachers say things like, "Who wouldn't serve a God like that? Who wouldn't stay with a woman like that?"
That's good stuff, man.
So yeah, my wife has been there. She's been everything that I needed and more. And so I guess I'm here today because. Part of the reason why I wouldn't share is because I didn't know whether I was going to be a success. You can look at YouTube and all of that kind of stuff because you still have the capacity to put on calories. Yeah, my stomach is small, but I have to stop myself from drinking sweet tea.
Okay.
Those are liquid calories that don't matter what kind of stomach you got, those calories are going to go in. I have to stop myself from eating ice cream. So it's the discipline that is involved in stuff like that that still have to be employed. So I didn't know that I was going to be a quote-unquote success. And some people may still feel like I'm not. But I know that I am.
Yeah, they don't know you then, so.
I know that I am.
So there's another question. I have a lot of questions. So another question is... So when you said you can start eating again, like is it everybody different or everybody kind of similar, the same? Like when you can start eating really, cause I know you gotta go on a diet right before you do it or something like that.
See, it just depends. I'm telling y'all, www.robinblackstone.com. I don't know whether that's her website or not, but Dr. Blackstone, I didn't go on a liquid diet.
Wow.
And that was thank you Jesus, because when I tell you, Wingstop knew my name and my order. When I tell you, I would drive through.
You introduced me to that spot. Boy.
I would drive through Whataburger. It take my wife to tell the story. I would drive through Whataburger, and I still remember my order to this day. I would get whatever that breakfast on the bun is, no egg, extra sausage.
Wow.
And so when I would order this meal, the man on the other side of the microphone one morning, he said, "Big man, is that you?" My wife is sitting right there, and I'm like, nah, man. It ain't me. It's somebody else. But I said that to say this, man. The process, you know, that type of thing I can't do anymore, and so I can still eat the sausage sandwich now. I'm a year out. I can. You give me an hour, I'd eat anything you put in front of me. But that's why you hear people say you have to use the tool of the sleeve. When you get that full sensation, when you get that clench, when you know that it's time that you've ate enough, you got to walk away from it. Save it for the next meal or do that. But to answer your question, no, I did not have to do any type of liquid diet. A lot of surgeons do. Dr. Blackstone didn't require that out of me. But when you come off of it, it's a process. So you do liquids for a few days, and then like a week out, I was eating blended pinto beans. Very similar to refried beans, but I don't want to say refried beans because they say a week out he was eating refried beans. But here's the deal. I had it at my doctor's office. She actually gave us our first meal, and so I ate some blended pinto beans and some blended green beans. Felt like
say blended was like a spoon or a straw?
No, it was a spoon.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
No, you say blended. I'm thinking it's blended blender or something.
And my doctor is not a proponent for protein shakes. I drink protein shakes because there's a certain amount of protein that I need to get in every day. But she's not a proponent for protein because she feels like it's not sustainable. So it depends on the doctor that you go through.
That's man.
Yeah. Man.
So.
Yeah, man. So going back to what I was saying, I'm going to add this in there. A lot of times in our community, we are afraid to show our true self because of what we feel is the perceived shame behind it.
Will you say the black community or just community period?
Well, I'm going to touch on the black community because that's the community. I'm not OJ. I don't think I belong to another community. Now I will be sharing this with my professional network. Because a lot of people that I work with want to know about my journey, and they don't know either.
Okay.
So I will be sharing this with my professional network, but this is specific to the black community. There's always a shame that is associated with some of the most difficult things that we could ever face. It started with my wife and her infertility. She didn't want to even share the fact that she was dealing with infertility because of the shame associated with it. Because she didn't want to be known as the barren woman. It goes back to biblical days.
I was about to say biblical days, but now it's still the same.
You're known by the things that you face. Or here comes Dezi, who had the surgery. I got to the place now to where that really doesn't matter anymore.
Okay.
I'm looking for my own freedom, step by step. Process by process. There's a shame that's involved. The reason why those men got in a fight on the light rail is because one man continued to ask the other young man, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? And I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to really show the young man who he was in this society, two black men trying to show who he was and what his contribution needs to be to society. And because the young man wasn't answering the questions the way that the older man wanted him to, he told the young man, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Wow.
That triggered off something in that young man that upset him because nobody wants to feel shameful. Nobody does. And so that is something that a message that I want to communicate to the masses is that when we have knowledge, when we have information, we should be willing to share it with people, and there should be no shame associated with it. It just is what it is. I'm here to help. I'm here to guide. I'm here to support. You know, even if it is a believer who is sharing information about the Bible, there is ways that we ought to share information with people who are unbelievers, and there's no shame attached. How many times do young people come to our churches and our services and we make them feel shame? How many times can people step into my workforce development classes and because they never wrote a resume in life, I have the ability to make them feel shame? No, that's an opportunity for me to help pull you up.
And some of the people, like the older people, they make you feel shame. Some of them, do you think some of them look ignorant? Not trying to use that word badly, but they don't know what they're doing. Like, cause you know, us growing up in the church, you know, if a young lady come in, maybe her whole life wasn't in church, so that's all she knows. And they come in, what are you doing? And make her feel ashamed. Do you think it's ignorance of making them feel like that? Or other people like
if you look up
different things?
If you look up the definition of the word ignorance is typically stimulated around a lack of exposure.
Okay.
And so I think sometimes our senior saints or our senior members of our church or our senior members of our community communicate the same way that they were communicated to.
Right.
And we can stimulate that all the way back to Jim Crow and to cotton fields and to the struggle that we as a people have had to overcome. But as we progress and as we learn, we do the best we can to now present things in a way that's palatable. Now, I'm going to say this, and for some people it may be politically incorrect, and for some people it may be absolutely correct, but hey, it is what it is. While I am not a fan of Bill Cosby and the steps that his life has taken up into this point, I am a huge fan of Heathcliff Huxtable.
Yeah.
And so what the Cosby Show had was an episode to where Heathcliff and Claire have been advised of the fact that Vanessa is now engaged to a man by the name of Dabnus Bricky.
Yeah.
And so Heathcliff goes on to try to explain to Dabnus Bricky the reason why he did not accept him. So he asked Dabnus Bricky, how do you like your steak? How do you like it prepared? And so he's going on, and Dabnus Bricky is really telling him, man, I like my steak like this. I like it with these trimmings. I like it with this side. And he says, you know what? How would you digest that if somebody gave it to you on the lid of a garbage can? And Dabnus Bricky said, well, man, I wouldn't want that at all. And he tells Dabnus, the reason why I'm having trouble with you is because Vanessa has brought you to me on a garbage can lid. A lot of times when we bring information to people and we bring it on a shameful surface, we are delivering great information on a garbage can lid. Great information, but it will never be digested because of how we deliver it.
That's how it is. And some people won't ever change from that either, so you got to kind of take it from there.
Nah, man. So if y'all got questions, at Desmond.Sweet on Instagram. My page is not private. It is open at Desmond.Sweet on Instagram. Inbox me, DM me, shoot me the information. I'll be glad to answer questions for you. We can even have a phone call. I'm willing to be a support to whoever that needs it. And here's the deal. If you want to remain anonymous, do whatever. I'm not going to share your deepest, darkest of secrets because I understand what path you've taken. I understand what road that you're on. But if I can provide support, I will.
I think we should do this. I think we should do another podcast about this. Maybe we could do something like, I don't know. We could do something if time permits. We could do something like weekly because I think this is gonna help a lot of people. Not just the weight thing, but just the confidence of things, how to help people with that, like being shameful, how to overcome that. And like I said, I know you for sure. You can help people with that. You better with that than I am. So like I said, I think it's going to be a great podcast. I think it's going to help a lot of people. Like you said, you didn't do it for help, but I think it's going to help and make people understand a little more. And because some people, like I said, some people don't know how to come about, how to talk about it. I know some people. I heard people that had it and they lied about it. Yeah. Because they don't know how to. Yeah. Like I worked it out, and anybody know you didn't do it.
Let me tell you, and I'm again, man. This is my coming out party.
Yeah.
When people typically ask me, how did you lose all of that weight? You know what my response is?
What's that?
I'm doing some of everything.
yeah.
I mean, and that's the reality. I'm doing some of everything. But if someone needs help in this capacity, I am willing to help. I had a great support system. My parents were a support. My brother was a support. I've already spoke of the support that my wife was. My pastor was a support. We talked about them senior saints. He didn't understand it, but he was a support. First thing he told me was, have you tried this? And have you tried that? And I gave him like a week's notice because I didn't want him to ponder on it too much. Yeah. I said, you know what, Pastor? I didn't come here for new tips. I came here for prayer.
Right.
And so he was like, I understand. I understand. And so, my pastor was a big support. And then I've had some coworkers that were a support to me as well. Shout out to Janet and Connie.
Shout out to y'all out there. And what I have a question. What was your greatest moment so far of your weight loss? What's one of your greatest moments you can think of recently?
one of the greatest moments that I can think, man, you know, and this is so cliche, because if you ever look at YouTubes and videos around this, they have something called NSVs, which are called non-surgical victories.
Okay.
So, man, one of my greatest moments was being able to fly on a plane, sat in the middle, and was not so uncomfortable that I felt like I was bleeding over and leaking on people and stuff like that, man.
Wow.
So, you know, I would have never, ever done that. People don't understand that even when one of those pictures is with me and Kendrick Perkins, where he took care of us. You know, that was your friend growing up in the day. He took care of us and allowed us to come watch him at the game. You never knew this, but the nervousness that I would feel even getting ready to go through that clicker at the door of an arena.
Man. Never
Needing the end seat everywhere I went. Family helping to shield me and protect me. My wife knew every ache and detail of my life, man. Being able to sit in a booth at a restaurant. Stuff that your average person just thinks.
Like I said, I know you. We know each other forever. I never even knew this.
Brother, I work for the city of Phoenix, and I remember getting in the vehicle, a city car, so that I could go and travel and do my training one day, and having to go back to the man who ran the motor pool and tell him, you know what, man, I got to get the minivan because the seatbelt doesn't fit.
Wow.
These things are non-surgical victories. So greatest moment. I don't remember one greatest moment. But you know, I guess another one of my greatest moments that I'll remember is a few days ago. My daughter pushed me in my stomach, and she said, "You big," and I smiled because I did not have the second thought of, man, I am big.
Oh, okay.
And she's gonna be. This is like another. No, I was able to view my daughter in the light of she's just a 4-year-old pushing on her daddy.
Wow.
And all daddies is big.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That was so huge for me.
That's
and you know,
amazing.
these things come, man. These things come. And the fact that I can't stop shopping, like I just got through telling somebody the other day that I literally had 30 button-down shirts, and I got convicted about it, man. I took about 25 of them to the Goodwill because it was too much.
But why would you feel convicted though?
Because I just felt like that it was just my purpose for buying them was not to supply the need of being able to have clothes and look nice.
Okay.
They were just like 30 shirts just because I had the ability to buy them. And so it was fun while I could.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but it was just pointless for me to have that many shirts, man. I was spending $100 every 2 weeks on dry cleaning bills with all that stuff.
Yikes.
It's just too much. It was just absolutely too much.
So I have a couple more, and then we'll try to wrap this up. So, say I know you had a moment where you was maybe unfocused, like kind of not to say depressed, but kind of sad, something.
Yeah.
What did you do to get kind of become? Somebody out there might hear this. What did you do to like get out of that funk? You know, get back to like, oh, okay, I'm Dezi. This is me.
Depressed at what point? Before surgery? After surgery? During the process? I don't think I ever dealt with a quote unquote a low point. Well, yeah, you do, because you deal with spots when that scale ain't moving, and you battle with the fact of, did I do this and it is not going to pay off? Like, did I have them remove my stomach and I can't eat 2 dozen wings?
Wow.
And it's like, man, I ain't gonna be satisfied with what I eat, and I ain't gonna be satisfied with this surgery. And so kind of how I got past that, man, was just leaning on my wife, her continuing to affirm me and say, man, you're looking good. Things are going well. Things are positive. You know, you're on a journey. Stop basing your success based on someone else's rule book or what you see to be the norm for somebody else, and just keep up the good work, because your mind does play tricks on you.
Yeah.
You know, when you go through this process, I heard somebody say it best. You got to deal with your demons.
Yeah, you do.
Because you can't you can't. I'm telling you, man, I ate a pint of Haagen-Dazs every night.
Every night.
Every single night. Every single night. I wasn't no better than the man to go up to Circle K and get that new box of New Pimps.
Well, what?
Newports. Every single night. I could tell you about all the flavors.
Yeah, you got me on Hog and Down. I never really ate that until I got around you guys.
And I got it from Low Ring King.
So I know we talked about a lot of weight loss things and about your process and everything like that. But is there anything else you might want to kind of talk about in this podcast, or you want to kind of leave it at this? I don't want to take away from what we talked about today, but
no, man, we can leave it at this. I feel like that I shared my heart. There may be some questions that people bring along, and as our co-host, we may dive in and see if we can answer.
Yeah, we definitely gonna do that. So that's what we'll do. It's gonna be on YouTube. You guys gonna watch. You probably watching it on YouTube. So go ahead and give a couple of comments. We'll say maybe give us 2 to maybe 3 weeks to get enough comments and questions. And what we'll do, we'll take maybe the top 10 questions, and then we'll come back and have you answer those questions.
And we'll roll through them real quick, because part of the reason why I wanted to do this today is because that is a stage in my life that is not who I am. Mm-hmm. And so I'm to the point now to where it's like, okay, now that that's over, now let's move on. Mm-hmm. Let's move on. There's sometimes people stay on things as a rallying cry, and again, I'm here to be support. But I'm still Desmond J Sweet.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not defined by any type of surgery. I'm not defined by the weight loss. Grateful that I had it. Mm-hmm. Feeling the best I've ever felt in life. But hey, we got real world issues out here, man, and we got to attack, and that we got to deal with. There's things we got to deal with to better humanity and to build up people that are walking around in our streets, in our communities, that don't have the resources that we have. Mm-hmm. There's bigger fish to fry. There's bigger issues out here, and that's the way I like to spend my time, is helping to build up people, helping to restore them. I've learned at this phase in life that we are all like an automobile, and in an automobile, you have a full signal and you have an empty signal, and some company that you keep and relationships that you have, some of them help fill you up and some of them drain you free. And I want people to come into an environment with me and it be like a filling station. I want to be the person that helps build people up, not drain people out. That's
good. And we're going to end it like that, man. So we're going to give big hand claps to Desmond Sweet, man. Thank you for coming through. This is going to be, like he said, he told me before we started, it's going to be my most viewed podcast so far, and I believe it is, man, because like I said, this is going to be a life-changing podcast right here. I thank you for even, because you came to me about this. I thank you for even wanting to do this. This is real big for me in the podcast, and that's what the podcast is about, man. This podcast is about the Maarcus Hall Podcast. We talk about a little sports, a little bit of that, but the main thing about this podcast is to help people become better people. No matter what you want to become, like I said, it could be a lawyer, doctor, want to lose weight. This is the thing. It's going to be a platform to help people. That's why I think it's going to go far, because it ain't about me. It's about helping others and doing things like that. So, and as you're watching this, you can also catch this episode. It's going to be on iTunes. You can catch it on Podbean. You can catch it on Snippets. Will be on Instagram, Twitter, and things like that. So you can catch me all those platforms. So, and then we'll let you give your tag again. What social media you on again?
Okay,
so people can check it out.
I'm only on Instagram.
Okay.
Desmond.sweet. I'm very active on LinkedIn, in that professional network as well. So you can hit me up there as well, because I feel like it's played a big factor in my professional life as well. I'm able to do what I do with more confidence and things like that. So I plan on sharing this with my professional network as well.
And don't get it wrong. Don't come with no weird questions and stupid stuff, because he will get you.
You can come with him.
He gonna get you. So I'm just getting you prepared. Don't do that. If you're gonna be serious about it, be serious about it, because just believe Marcus when I say this. Don't come with the nonsense. You can come. He's saying you can, but I'm letting you know. I'm giving you warning.
I'm not gonna guarantee a response.
So
but you can come with it.
But like I said, thank you so much. This is my brother here, man. And like I said, we're gonna be back on this about this subject again. So remember, y'all, go ahead and send those questions in, and we'll get those answers for you guys.
And y'all like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe to my podcast, man. Let your family know. And like I said, this is gonna be my 9th podcast. So we're gonna give me a year or so. We're gonna be real good at this, man. So let me know, man. So give me your feedback on anything like that, and be positive, man. So.
You're already good, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, we trying in here, man. I'm
trying. Proud of you. You're the type that I've heard you talk about stuff like this for years. And while some people feel like, oh, he just talking, you're a person that I've seen. Sometimes you're able to take big steps. Sometimes you're able to take baby steps, but you're always making progress. And so that's the blessing that God has placed inside of you. Nobody is successful without consistently moving forward. So I'm proud of you, man.
I thank you. And thanks to the Sweets family. They took that country out of me and put that little polish on me a little bit, We
took a lot of it out.
Yeah, a lot of it, dressing wise, mustache. I'm gonna tell you this a little slower, and we gonna end it. But I remember one day I was in the car, and I think you had went out and you did something, and me and Mick was in the car, and she was telling him, she says, your mustache, like, what would be cute? It would be nice. I was single and everything. She said, what would be cute if you kind of like thin it out a little bit? I had a thick mustache, and I'll never forget. She said, go ahead and thin it out. Yeah, go ahead and thin it out a little bit. And I had long hair, y'all. Y'all might not remember. If I find a picture, I'll post it on this thing right here. I'll post it right now. I had a perm. I thought it was nice. I thought it was dope. But Mika and Dezi, whoo, I mean, the laughter. I mean, the how they were laughing. I mean, their side was hurting so much. Because the way it happened was I had an old prom picture, and I thought it was nice. Come from Texas South, I thought it was dope. So I think I'm gonna show them this picture. Like, oh, that's dope. They looked at that picture one time, and Mika was like, when she did that, his side was hurting. They like, stopped the car, laugh. I'm looking like, really? So like I said, they polished me up real good. What you see right now is good. Like I said, I wasn't nothing, but the polish they put on me, man, the Sweet family, I love them, man. I think for a lot. It's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Like, Dezi pushed me a lot of things and gave me confidence, because seeing his confidence gave me confidence. And I want to tell you thank you on right now about that. So, like I said, we got a lot of life to live. So good things gonna happen. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Tell your friends. You got family members that deal with this, and they don't know how to. Let them watch this podcast. Their life will turn around. And they'll get a lot of more, don't feel shame and all that kind of thing, different things like that. So, like I said, thank you again for coming. And, that's the Maarcus Hall Podcast. Appreciate you guys.